although the national costume competition is by far not the most important or serious part of the Miss Universe contest as a whole, I thought it would be fun to go through all of the national costumes that we saw yesterday. If you guys didn't know, yesterday was the preliminary competition, but they decided to have the national costume competition right afterwards, and just as I predicted, everybody was so enthralled by the gowns from the prelims that the national costumes unfortunately went largely ignored and only later started being talked about a bit more, which is a shame because there were some amazing costumes which we will be talking about in this video. But in this video, I'm, like I said, going to be talking about all of the national costumes for all of the contestants. So the good, the bad, the ugly, the underwhelming, the bland. Let's get into it. Starting with Albania, who wore a flag costume. How original. Using your country's flag as your national costume or to inspire national costume, it's passé, it's over. Then we have Angola. Angola's outfit was made of shells, which I thought was so interesting and creative. I just wish that there was a full shell skirt. That would have been so cool. Then we had Argentina. Argentina was definitely struggling under the weight, but her costume was also glorious. Armenia, you know what? I hate lettering in national costume. National costume for me is supposed to be about symbolism and interpretation and using actual words in your national costume, or holding up a sign that says like something, even if it's for a good cause. It's just like a brick in the face, you know, there's no room for interpretation in that. Then we have Aruba. Aruba's costume seemed low budget, but also kind of cute. I definitely need that hat though. We have Australia, who was basically wearing a Miss Teen gown with a headpiece. Bahrain was such a goddess. Oh my goodness, I loved the pants on Bahrain. I would definitely wear this whole outfit without the headpiece to, I don't know, my ex's wedding or something. It was glorious. Belgium, the wings look very cheap, and she definitely did not practice a performance. She looked like she did not know what she wanted to do. For Belize, I love the detail with the plants and the moon. I think that's so imaginative. For Bhutan, I mean, it sort of reminded me of the 70s, like the sort of costume that you would see at Miss Universe in the 1970s. For Bolivia, Bolivia, it was a bit underwhelming, you know. It wasn't very tantalizing in my opinion. Then we have Brazil. For Brazil, I thought that the shell that she had on her back should have been bigger, you know, larger, to be more glorious. But the outfit itself is very cute though. If you take away the headpiece and the shell, I would definitely wear this somewhere. For the British Virgin Islands, you know what, it was very much giving preschool dance recital outfit, you know, the type of outfits that you put your little 5-year-old in to do their first little dance recital where they just stand around. It's definitely giving childhood trauma core. For Bulgaria, this was just excruciatingly bland. When it came to Cambodia, I thought that her whole costume was very pretty and well made. For Cameroon, I absolutely loved it. The detail is so amazing. It's a very intriguing costume for me. For Canada, oh guys, if I see one more ballerina national costume, I mean, Great Britain from Miss Grand International already copied Lalela's whole thing from national costume from last year, and now Canada. I just feel like they're copying Lalela. And you know what? If you want to take inspiration from Lalela, fine. But at least like wait a few years before bringing out the ballet again. Because, you know, somebody already did it. And at this point, I don't care if you're the best ballerina in the world. It's going to feel like you are just trying to copy this other person. So we have Cayman Islands next, and I love the plant detail and the tail as well. I thought this costume was so exquisite. For Chile, the feathers on the headpiece look very rough. The rest of the costume is not offering much either. When it came to China, oh my goodness, the host's commentary was so funny. It had me on the floor laughing because China was supposed to wear something else, and so the description that the host had to read was different from the costume that she was actually wearing, and the host picked up on this. So he improvised, and he's like, and you know what, in national costume at Miss Universe, they always end with a little rhyme. So he ends with, she wore red instead, or she chose red instead. It was so funny. It was so funny. You have to watch to actually know what I'm talking about. Colombia, oh my goodness. Wow, this is how you do wings in a national costume. Absolutely exquisite. Just Colombia's national costume was amazing. For Costa Rica, the black underwear that she was wearing so clearly does not match the rest of the costume, and that bothers me. Croatia, if there was a winner for most boring national costume, I feel like Croatia would win. For Curacao, it was a bit like school project-y, but I feel like she sold it pretty well with her performance. Curacao has incredible charisma. Czech Republic, okay, as an art lover, I have to explain myself. As an art lover, I actually like this a bit. But if you don't know anything about art, then I can see how this costume would be a bit underwhelming. For Dominican Republic, oh my goodness, those feathers, they look like they have been through it. I feel like the packing process and getting it over here from the Dominican Republic must have been rough. With Ecuador, you know what? I actually like her costume. I have nothing negative to say about it. With El Salvador, I thought that this was such an interesting concept, using currency as the basis for your costume and showing currency throughout the different times and history of your country. So interesting. With Equatorial Guinea, her headpiece fell off. Overall, I thought that it was okay. With Finland, oh lord, she was basically wearing a very ill-fitting Shein evening gown with gloves and a dodgy headpiece. With France, you know what, okay, this was really good for me. I love the bra in particular. I liked what France was bringing. Germany came out as a sexualized Karl Lagerfeld, and you know what, I liked it. It's very creative, actually. 10 points for Germany. With Ghana, I feel like it's missing something. Maybe like a cape or something on the back. Definitely missing something. For Great Britain, this isn't it. You know, it's supposed to be inspired by Queen Elizabeth, who recently passed. And it just doesn't resemble anything that the late Queen would ever have worn. And I do feel like since she literally passed like 4 months ago, I feel like it's kind of in poor taste, even though it's supposed to be a tribute. Then we have Greece. You know what, I too want a light up bra. I enjoyed Greece's costume. For Guatemala, you know, without the set, which doesn't count, the costume is fine, and I just want countries to please stop bringing entire sets to Miss Universe. If you can't carry it, if you can't wear it, if it doesn't go on your head, then it isn't part of your costume. I hate sets. You guys remember in 2019 the monstrosity sets that we got at Miss Universe? I never want to see sets again. Luckily this year, I think Guatemala was the only one. Anyway, moving on, we have Haiti. Haiti was very cute. She brought her own background because, you know, the Miss Universe stage just wouldn't do. It just wouldn't give you the vibes of her costume. Then we have Honduras, and honestly, as a history enthusiast, I loved this costume. For Iceland, it was all about climate change, but, you know, it was just boring. It was just boring, even though it was for a good cause. For India, I felt like India's wings did not match the exquisite quality of the rest of her costume, which was a shame. Indonesia, oh my goodness, are you kidding? There is a ship. There is a ship, 10 out of 10. For Italy, you know, her costume was very much reminiscent of Honduras's costume. Honduras's historical costume, I thought, was better. For Italy, it just looked a bit like commercial, and that for that reason, it doesn't look authentic. It looks like you can buy this at any sort of low-budget costume store. For Jamaica, her shoulder feathers looked very rough, but I did love the rest of the costume. With Japan, it was all about peace, but it was also like inspired by origami. You know, for Japan, honestly, I had no feelings about this costume other than next, please. With Korea, the costume was obviously culturally inspired, which is something that we see often from Korea. With Kosovo, oh my goodness, what is this? I was so perplexed when she walked in because she's like this thing over her head. But turns out from what the commentator said, it's about people being sad about getting married, and you know, sad about getting married. I can definitely relate to that. Then we have Kazakhstan, who is also dressed as a bride, but this time with positive connotations. Could this be a hint to her other half? Who knows? I thought Laos's costume was very well made. Then we had Lebanon, who looks so futuristic. The costume is also kind of minimal. Malaysia, I need this coat. I need this coat for winter, actually. And you know what this looks like? This looks like something that Kanye West would actually put out through Yeezy. Then we have Malta. Malta also had a currency-inspired costume, but hers was less good. With Mauritius, you know, I thought it was okay. Mexico's costume was so gorgeously made, and she really sold it as well. With Myanmar, I knew this was going to be some sort of transformational costume, but it's not the best transformational costume. Listen, I love a good transformational costume, but this was just, it was meh, it was fine, I guess. With Namibia, guys, I've talked about this costume at length on my Instagram, and that is not an African fish eagle. I don't know what that is. It's not an African fish eagle. As a Namibian, I do not claim this costume. They should have made this, you know what? I think that this costume was pre-made, and then they just decided to put an animal to it, because this could have actually even worked if it was inspired by the flamingos of Walvis Bay here in Namibia, but that is definitely not an African fish eagle, and even Stevie Wonder could see that. Then we have Nepal. I enjoyed Nepal's costume. I just want to know, from a curious perspective, why is she sticking her tongue out? I would actually love to know. If somebody could tell me, then that would be great. Then we have Netherlands. Netherlands, you know what? It's a bit low sort of budget. You know what? It's not even low budget. It's minimal, but it's so cute. I love food costumes. Can we have more food costumes, please? Then we have Nicaragua. Nicaragua's costume looked very familiar. I swear I've seen this costume at another pageant's national costume before. Then we have Nigeria. I thought that the feathers of her costume was actually very good quality, which is surprising, seeing all of the other jacked up feather costumes that we've had this evening. The shield did not match the quality of her costume, however. I felt like the shield looked a little bit plasticky, but the feathers really good quality. Then we have Norway. Norway was wearing an evening gown, basically. For Panama, Panama's costume was very detailed, perhaps overly so. Then we have Paraguay. Paraguay, you know what I was thinking while I was watching Paraguay? Are we slowly making a return to the sexy national costume era? You guys remember back in the day, I think it was like 25 years ago, like all of the national costumes were extremely sexy. They were basically like yassified bikinis. And I've seen a lot of unnecessarily skimpy costumes at this year's national costume competition. With Peru, it's clear she loves red. She was also wearing red for her preliminary evening gown competition. Philippines was basically the Wonder Woman of the Philippines, which I thought was very, very cute. Then we have Poland, and just, yawn flag costume. Okay, moving on. For Portugal, the skirt is a very awkward length. Like, why wasn't the skirt just made full length? Puerto Rico, so cool, so futuristic. You know, it's 2023. I want tech mixed into national costume more. Imagine the amazing things you can do if you mixed technology into your national costume. That would be so amazing. Then we have Russia. Russia's costume I thought was exquisitely made, but it was sort of glorifying the imperial era of Russia, and I'm just gonna say there's a reason that Russia got rid of the monarchy. Let me not get into the gruesome history of Russia, but yeah, this costume may not go over well with too many people, especially in Russia. Then we have St. Lucia. St. Lucia, bit boring, unimaginative. For the Seychelles, that bird, when they did the close-up on the bird, that bird has been through it. Oh my goodness. For Singapore, I thought her costume was cute enough. For Slovak Republic, you know what, as a person of European descent, right, most of my ancestry is from Europe. I must say that European traditional clothes are so boring, and every single time I see somebody come out in something like this, it gives me like a flashback to my childhood from when my parents forced me to participate in Volksspiele, and it brings up so much trauma, honestly. Next time I see a European contestant wearing something like this, I'm suing, honestly. Then we have South Africa, and we all know what I think about this. Those wings are horrible in multiple ways, but I do like the rest of the outfit as a whole. For Spain, I think this is about the 100th time that I've seen a Spanish contestant as a flamenco dancer. With Switzerland, she had a chocolate costume inspired by chocolate, which, okay, I'm intrigued. It was not very well made, though. I thought that they could have done something better with it. With Thailand, if you get rid of the bowl, this would be an amazing evening gown look. With Bahamas, the flag at the back is so unnecessary, but I do like the rest of the costume. With Trinidad and Tobago, guys, this is so huge, so awesome, and to top it all off, she could actually walk in this. How amazing is that? Trinidad and Tobago really shined at national costume. For Turkey, I thought that this was like a project in art class. You know, when you get assigned to, you know, recycle, make something out of rubbish, and you never actually use rubbish, you just use like things around the house. But this is what this was giving me. We have Ukraine next. Well made, and I definitely love that the wings could actually spread open and closed. Really cool costume from Ukraine, actually. For Uruguay, there were definitely some feathers missing from the headpiece, and also it was very skimpy, very not safe for work, very not safe whatsoever. It was extremely skimpy, to be honest with you. For USA, oh my goodness, guys, USA made my day. Okay, first of all, she was struggling to walk in that costume. This is literally how I walked directly after having an appendectomy in 2015. And guys, when she turned around, the cheeks, how could you, how do you wear something like that, not knowing what it looks like from the back when she walked around and her cheeks were sticking out and she was walking away so awkwardly? Guys, my partner and I died laughing. It was too much. It's too much. Okay, I couldn't help it. Then we have Venezuela next. Venezuela had a very nice costume. And lastly, we had Vietnam, which I loved Vietnam's national costume. It was so cute. Vietnam always have the most well thought out national costumes for Miss Universe, and I definitely love this one. Well made and very, very cute. So yes guys, those were my thoughts for the Miss Universe 2022 national costumes, for every single costume. The USA they just made my day. I'm going to be doing a video soon about my top 10 favorites, and then guys, I have to do my top 16 final prediction as well, so wish me luck. Let me know your favorite costumes in the comments down below. I'd love to know. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.